State of New California. Notice to all Californians, Chapter 2, Grievance number 22, September 22nd, 2020. New California is a new state in development exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Section 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in the United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 3 and Section 4. We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States. New California Declaration of Independence, January 15, 2018 states, whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, is their right, it's their duty to throw off such a government and to provide new guards for their future security. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, we, the representatives of the undersigned counties, will, within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity. First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The counties of New California State brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State will issue 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Grievance number 22, Declaration of the Grievance Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across the southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government violates the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. United States Constitution, Article 6. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. First Amendment, United States Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance. Eighth Amendment, United States Constitution. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. 14th Amendment, United States Constitution. Section 1, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Refer section 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. Order of the day. Convene a special legislative session. While we, the people of the Unified Counties of New California, seek the removal of the California State Governor turned dictator, Gavin Newsom, and will pursue every means available to remedy his abuse and usurpation of power, we now demand that California State Legislature exercise the limited powers it has at its discretion to repeal the governor's unlimited powers of authority he is utilizing to destroy the state's economy while furthering his reign of terror upon the United States citizens living in the state of California. Governor Newsom signed an executive order March 4, 2020, known as the Emergency Services Act under Government Code Section 8625 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has crippled the California economy and destroyed the lives of millions of people in California. As identified by the New California State Movement, California is in default on filing the necessary federal financial forms that will allow the continuation of over $97 billion in annual federal grants. The failure of the state to file the necessary documents the federal government requires has triggered a number of investigations both by the federal and state government into the financial accountings of the state and the actions of the governor. The signing of the Emergency Services Act has exacerbated the financial crisis and created a dictatorship that consolidates legislative and judicial branches of government under the office of the governor. California is the first one-man rule dictatorship in the United States history. The state is now over $120 billion in debt, with no help in sight of a federal bailout as being sought by the governor's biological aunt, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, D. California. According to numerous sources in the California state capitol, there will be a special legislative session in the coming weeks to discuss the state's massive financial crisis and repeal the governor's Emergency Services Act. California has 58 sovereign counties, and numerous counties are now abandoning the governor's executive order of March 4, 2020. In a unanimous vote, the Placer County Board of Supervisors decided to no longer recognize health emergency proclamation issued by California Governor Gavin Newsom on March 4, 2020. Since the issuance of the governor's emergency order, the entire state of California has been shut down over fears of the COVID-19 virus pandemic, quote unquote. The state is now over $100 billion short in cash and is no longer solvent. New California state representatives have been visiting numerous county boards to protest the shutdowns and inform counties of their rights in the face of the tyrannical governor. Our very system of government and way of life is at stake. Placer County Board of Supervisors statement. Today, the Placer County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to terminate the local health emergency passed on March 4, 2020, because the circumstances that led to proclaiming the original emergency no longer exist. We cannot continue to keep our community shut down for some unknown amount of time as determined by the ever-changing metrics according to the governor. Health emergency declarations are obligated to be terminated at the earliest possible date that the conditions warrant, and based on the number of COVID-19 cases in our county, there is no longer a health emergency with regards to COVID-19 in Placer County. Assemblyman James Gallagher, R. Yuba City, and Kevin Kiley, R. Rockland, filed a 15-page opposition to the governor's own brief to a previous lawsuit filed against the governor with the California Superior Court, setting a clear legal argument against Gavin Newsom's one-man rule. We are asking the court for two things. One, a judgment that the executive order so issued is null and void. Two, a court order stopping the governor from further exercising any legislative powers in violation of the California Constitution. In the case before the court, defendant Gavin Newsom declares that the 6-month and continuing state of emergency centralizes the state's powers in the hands of the governor. This disquieting claim belies California law and defies Americans, I think that meant, and defies America's first principles. We then set forth the constitutional basis for the court to step in. The authors of California's Constitution learned the lesson of America's founding even better than the founders themselves, enshrining an explicit separation of powers provision. A California governor is constitutionally forbidden from doing the very thing that Governor Newsom has done here, exercise legislative powers. The brief then turns to the unprecedented abuses by the governor of this year. California has entered its 7th month of COVID-19 pandemic with no apparent end in sight. In addition to sweeping guidance documents that close schools and shutter businesses, Governor Newsom has issued 53 executive orders that span 15 different California codes and change over 400 state laws. And here is the crux of the legal argument. The Emergency Services Act does not authorize Newsom's unconstitutional actions. Contrary to the governor's claim, the Emergency Services Act does not and could not inaugurate an atrocity to the state of California. Such a wild misapprehension of his own authority is precisely why this case demands a resolution on its merits. We demand the California State Legislature listen to people in the counties of California. Listen to your own legislators. Listen to your county elected sovereign sheriffs and district attorneys. Then exercise the limited powers you still have at your discretion to repeal the governor's unconstitutional and unlimited powers of authority he is now utilizing to destroy California. New California State Movement has for over 5 years been utilizing Article 4, Section 3 to form a new state in direct defiance of California dictator, just like the Founding Fathers had planned. The California governor is a pusillanimous, craven dictator whose words and actions are a grave danger to all U.S. citizens living in California, while the state continues to operate outside the authorities of the U.S. Constitution, violating Articles 4, Section 4, and Article 6, the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments. For New Californians, it's our God-given right, it is our duty to protect our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and our Bill of Rights with all means necessary from a craven dictator. New Californians will not comply. We request the President of the United States to act immediately to remedy those abuses by the establishment of the New California State. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor dictator, and the monoparty system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 and the Emergency Economic Powers Act are United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. Acts of secession. Therefore, the California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive instituted wherever the current socialist governor dictator has usurped power, has created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America and thus destroy the very Union of States which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor dictator of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities and authority and sovereignty over the United States citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 or the Emergency Economic Powers Act to end the tyranny being foisted upon United States citizens living in California State. This concludes these proceedings. New California State can be reached through the newcaliforniastate.com website and phone number 877-828-2753.